Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Reviola Nurzara Putri Suteja and I'm from 4D class and my ID number is 124 204 0072. And in this video I would like to explain what I already studied from Teyl class. So the first one is this is the table of content about what material that I will be explain. The first one is what is young learners and followed by characteristic of young learners and then learning theories and characteristic of children in different age gaps. And the last is how to deal with them. Okay, so let's move to the first topic, which is the definition about young learners. So young learners are children who are in early stages learning, usually between 4 until 12 years old, or in Indonesia it's maybe around kindergarten until the sixth grade. Or in education, especially in language learning, the term of young learners refers to kids who are still developing basic skills like thinking, social interaction, and also communication. And the characteristic of young learners, the first one is active and also energetic. They usually use huge movement and also gesture, and they had a lot of energy that they should deliver to something. And they also have a short attention span. They can't sit and hear through the teachers all day long. They couldn't do that. And they have a limited vocabulary. They vocabulary in their head is not as much as adult or teenager. And the next is they learn much by doing. So they prefer to absorb information by something that they do instead of what they see or hear. So in this case, teacher usually have an activity that make their learn about the subject. And then the last one is they imitate easily because as we know children is good imitators, so they would imitate easily what the adults do. Okay, so is next is the teaching theories. The teaching theories, this is we have three theories, which is Jan Piaget, Jerome Bruner, and Lev Vygotsky. Jan Piaget states that children learn through stages of cognitive development that change with age. So he believed that kids don't just learn by absorbing information, but they build their knowledge too. Even Jan Piaget have his own defined has Jan Piaget has his own stages of cognitive skills regarding to each age. And Jerome Bruner theories, he emphasizes that learning occurs through active experience with guided supports. He also mentioned about scaffolding. So, what is scaffolding? Scaffolding is when teachers giving help step by step until they gradually move until they gradually removing it. So he believed that learning is most effective when students figure it out by themselves with a little hints of guidance by the teachers. He also mentioned the three ways that representing knowledge with this. which is inactive and iconic and also symbolic. And the last one is Levigatsky. His theory states that learning is shaped by social interaction, which is children with their peers or teachers or maybe parents and support from others. And he also mentioned about ZPD. What is ZPD? ZPD is zone of proximal development, which is the gap between what children can do and what children couldn't do. Okay, so next is oh sorry. And the next is we will talk about the characteristic about each gaps. So the first one is primary, which is between 2 until 5 years old. In this age, children usually very active and playful, like they really couldn't stay still, and they learn much on games, songs, and movements. And also they have a very short attention span, like they couldn't stay still just for only 10 minutes or less than 5 minutes. They also depend a lot on the teacher because they didn't have any vocabulary, and they learn best through visuals and repetition. That's why usually the teachers in teachers who teach in this age, it's always repeat, repetition about each about new words, like this is apple, and this is apple. So the student in this age could imitate it. And the next is lower primary, which is grade 1 until 3. They in this grade they start to focus a bit longer. That's why in primary school students give a little more complex subject, and they begin to read and write even though it's not perfect, and they enjoy working in groups, and they can follow simple instructions like how to make origami, or maybe a simple a simple mathematics task. And the last is upper primary, which is grade 4 until grade 6. In this age, students could be more independent. They could think logically and critically, and they also could think some abstract, even though it's not too complex. And they care about friends, and they increase their social interactions. They also could handle more complex tasks and explanations. And so we already know what is characteristic the and the divided of each children by their age. So as a teacher, how to deal with them or young learners. Okay, so the one is as a teacher, we should vary our voice. So the student attention should be on us, on the teachers, to not to anything else. And then make learning fun. Teachers must arrange a different activity on different class, different subjects, so the kids wouldn't be so bored and lost focus. And then use attention items. In this case, if students if teachers teach something new, the it's just to the teachers to bring some items that could make the learning station easier, like maybe teachers teach about animals, so they provide a drawing of animals, or maybe a poster, something like that. And then the last one is do a big gesture, because as I said before, it's really energetic and active learners. So that's why as a teachers we must to have an equal energy with them. If we have less, then the learners wouldn't be able to focus on us. They would focus on anything else like that. So I think that's all from what I've been learned until now from teaching English from young learners, which is I do learn a lot from these subjects. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.